children, and welcome to my chamber. My name is Rotherick Gastblood, and I'm your host of Tales from the Dark Chamber. This week, we have a great show for you. Tales to make your skin crawl. Each week, my chambermate and I read a scary tale that we found on the internet, or perhaps left under some corpse. Either way, we think you're going to like it, and we're just dying for you to hear it. So sit right back, light a candle, and let's have a ghoul evening.
Hey, Rotherick, I was curious. Have you ever had any other chambermates here at the mansion?
Oh, why do you ask, Woody?
Well, I was looking through some old photos in the library and noticed that there were some other normal-looking people in the pictures. Were they residents? Looks like the mansion here.
Oh, no. They were visitors here. They were delicious.
What?
Just pulling your leg there, Woody. Certainly. They used to live here, too. Very nice people. Not intrusive or pesky. Usually kept to themselves. Except Richard.
Richard?
Richard Waldman. He was a bit of a handful. Always drinking alcohol, and decided that smoking marijuana was something people here should do. Always, I believe you call it, high.
Well, what happened to him?
He actually passed, unfortunately. He was driving while intoxicated and ran off the road. He landed in a pond and drowned.
Oh, that's terrible.
Not a complete loss. He was delicious.
Right. Pulling my leg again, I see.
Maybe.
Always ghoul for a joke.
But mostly the residents here have been nice. Some have passed as well. But I assure you, nothing I did. Not that I didn't want to.
Should I be afraid?
Woody, even as a ninny, you're one of the best chambermates I've had. At least you don't play your rock and roll music loud.
Well, glad to hear.
However, you do have a living will, don't you?
But that does remind me of tonight's story. Our group of potentially deceased six are a bit closer to finding out what is this mystery of the Osmocate Manor. Enjoy! Osmocate Manor, Act 2.2, by Runedine. M waits. Vivid flashes of excitement between disappointed and anxious in-betweens follow. Foul balls, C whispers. The hand is just about to touch the mark. The excitement inclines after the short disappointment, and then a minute burst of astonishment appears, followed by a dismounting blow of horror. The absolute terror is resounding for a millisecond, and then it's gone. You can't take it anymore. He walks up behind you with his bat and he hits you in the face. V stares into M's eyes. M was silent for a moment. He didn't know what he thought of the way it felt. Maybe, but it looks like I was hit in the front. V scratches his chin. See, we don't have to go into your room or make you feel or watch anything. Just tell me, what were your pictures? I had 3 pictures as well. The first was a car. The car seems very familiar. The same way the two of you perceive the construction site and the baseball player. The next picture is of a man. He's holding a beer bottle. He's wearing a red shirt and has an expensive watch on his wrist. The final picture is of a lake. Maybe you were hit by a drunk driver. You were knocked off the road into a lake, see? And you drowned. It's almost undoubtable. One of those images is a place our deaths happened. The person in our pictures is our killer. And the last image ties into our murder, like you in your car and V's shoes failing him. I'm not exactly sure how the report card ties in, but I'm sure of it. That's how it works. So we know we're dead, and we know we have insight into how. But people die all the time. Thousands of people every day. So what about the 7 of us is special enough that we ended up here? You know, we should talk with the others about their stories tomorrow, V admits. If we're going to be definite about anything, we need all the evidence we can get. And what if A doesn't want to share? C sighs. V shrugs. 6 out of 7 of us is good enough for me. But right now, we're not even half the group. Not a lot of certainty. Actually, you know, this is a pretty pressing matter. Want to wake them up right now? Maybe we shouldn't, C scratches her forearm awkwardly. Let's do it. I want to wake up A. We may as well wake them all, V shrugs. Better all their stories, and A might not even talk. I know, I just mean, I want to be the one to wake her specifically. V raises an eyebrow. All right, man. You wake up A. Let's get going. V grabs M's hand and C grabs his. They exit the white room. When C, M, and V get downstairs, V goes over to J's room, C to D's, M to A's. Gotta get her side of the story, M thinks. So I'll have to make this irresistible to her. I'll make her so confused, she can't possibly stay in there. He starts to chuckle. And, God, I want to see where this goes. Wake up, bitch. You better give me money. He lowers his voice in an attempt to sound like a disgruntled thug. C runs over to him screaming, M! What are you doing? V whirls around. You might want to grab your knife, he gasps. J bursts into shocking laughter as he steps out of his room. D is staring in disgust. O wanders into the hall, scratching his head. M waits carefully. There's no reply. I was totally kidding. Just wanted to lighten the mood. Seriously, though, A, we found what looks like a really important discovery, and we want you in the loop. Please? There's still no reply. Damn it. I was sure that was weird enough to draw her out. I think you came on too strong, dipshit, D glares at you. What the hell are you 6 doing? A voice appears from the stairway as they turn and see A standing in the candlelight at the end of the hall. Hey, we need to talk. Gonna cuss her out? D shakes her head as A walks down the hall towards the 6. What's going on? A inquires. We're comparing our stories, A. V faces her. You know, how we died. C, M, and I are noticing a pattern. M pointed out that each envelope has 3 pictures, one of a person, one of a place, and one of a thing. The person seems to be our killer. The place is where it happened. And the thing is the item responsible for doing it. But that only lines up with 3 stories. We want your stories, too, to see if we're onto something. Interesting, O nods. Great work. My stories line up with that conclusion, mostly. In my pictures, the first is of a teenage male. He looks frustrated. The second picture is of a teenage girl. She looks distraught. The final picture is of what looks like a public restroom. Completely honestly, I have no idea of what to make for that, M sighs. That doesn't line up with the person, place, thing format. Oh, what did you look like in your mirror again? I was bleeding from what looked like 3 gunshots in my chest and shoulders. And mine? Jay meets M's eyes. Don't really line up exactly either. There are only 3 pictures too, but one is of a man, one is of a bottle of whiskey, and the last is of a woman. The man looks angry, vicious, cruel. The woman looks terrified. Mine was the same as yours, D faces V and M. Person, place, thing. Living room, injection needle, boy. A, do you mind sharing? A sits still. She seems to be considering it. Yes. You realize your cooperation could be the difference between us figuring out what the hell's going on and how we can possibly get out of here. I get that you're not a social butterfly and that this is obviously a personal matter. But if we're going to ever figure this out, we need you and everyone to cooperate. She giggles. You didn't let me finish, Em. I do mind sharing. Vocally. However, if you follow me into my room, I'll let it do the talking. Just you, though, Em. V shoots a confused look. M's shocked, but shrugs. He grins at V. She can't kill me. He returns his gaze to A and concedes. I really appreciate it. She nods. They walk up the stairs, the group following. When they get to the white room, she opens the door. She sticks her hand out. Coming? M takes her hand. He feels butterflies as they lock fingers. He's shocked she's holding his hand so tightly. When they step inside, he feels the push, but she holds onto him firmly. Once through, he sees her envelope on the other side of the room, labeled A in blank ink. She faces him. Welcome, M. This is shocking. I honestly never thought you'd cooperate. Is there any reason you wanted to single me out? Yeah, I singled you out, M, because of this. She walks over to him. He's terrified as she's inches from his face, her large green eyes glinting in curiosity as they lock with his smooth russet. Eh? He blushes. She giggles. She steps back. That's why. What? You're predictable. He was slightly annoyed. What the heck was that? Predictable? She smiles at him. Predictable was the wrong choice of words. Entirely the wrong choice of words, actually. You're pretty unpredictable. The way you threw V into the pool without warning, or how you decided to wake me up. You heard that? He asks awkwardly. That might give some people the inclination not to trust you. But I see it as the opposite. You're sincere. That's what I meant. So sincere, you act entirely on your own will, hiding nothing. Don't get offended. No offense to J or C or V or any of them, but they're hard to trust. To me, anyway. You, however, are too much of an open book to confuse me. She faces him with an unreadable expression. I guess that makes sense. Well, thanks. To be honest, it's remarkable watching you giggle. I never imagined you would. Anyway, let's see those pictures. Remarkable watching me giggle? She doesn't let him change the subject. You're just so... You look unhappy most of the time. Gloomy. But right now, you seem so ironically alive. That makes her laugh. She looks at him in interest. Thanks, Em. Now the pictures. She slides them out of the envelope. The first is a picture of uneven bars. The second picture displays an inhaler. The third displays a leotard sprawled out on the ground. Yours is the only set without a picture of a person. It seems like you had an asthma attack doing your uneven bars routine. what do you look like in the mirror?" She looks at him mysteriously. She leads him to the mirror, flicking on a lamp. In lieu of the abnormal lights, he finds her almost the same, except her lungs are visible in her chest. They're blackish blue. He stares at the image, shuddering. "Yeah, it definitely seems like an asthma attack or something." "I believe you're right. I don't recall having asthma, though. Would I really pursue gymnastics as a career if I had asthma?" "You seem like a very determined person." "Honestly, I wouldn't put it past you." She looks at him amusedly. Maybe." Now she faces the clock. She moves the hour hand into place and the minute hand 10 minutes behind the red mark at 12:39. She presses the black button. The two of them stand side by side as they begin to sense a high level of excitement. It's not as palpable as M's clock vision, but it's more exciting than V's. As they mire in the excitement, she faces him. A performance. Some type of important practice, maybe. Or a contest? He nods. Around the 3-minute mark, they feel anxiety, an intense determination. The feeling of fear is only slight, like the creeping anxiety of waiting in line to ride a roller coaster. When it gets to the red mark, however, everything changes. The fear turns quite vibrant. Her mark has a long trail, extending for 5 minutes on the clock. Now they begin to feel absolute terror and regret swallowing them, mixed with anger and confusion. She looks appalled as she stands before the clock, waiting for the hand to extend past the mark's trail. When it finally does, the last thing they are able to process is horrible regret. M stares into her eyes. "Regret? That probably solves it. You're regretting doing gymnastics with asthma, I think." She slowly nods. "Yes. I need to sleep now." She walks over to the doorway. She holds his hands and they exit the room together. When they re-emerge, V is waiting impatiently. J, leaning against the wall, talking to D. O is polishing his glasses with a small cloth, and C, staring at the portal, seemingly in bated breath. "Is everything all right?" she asks immediately, noticing A's expression of discomfort. "Fine. I need to sleep. Good night to you all." She departs. He feels the urge to say something to her, to make a move as she leaves. At the same time, V's approaching him, ready for an answer. The others are waiting for a response, too. "Tell them if you like," A faces him. "I just didn't want to say it or feel it amongst everybody." "What happened?" V asks. "Does it line up?" "Asthma attack. There wasn't a person in her picture, though, strangely enough. I'm not sure why." A disappears down the stairs. "This is the conclusion I've reached," O gathers everyone's attention. "Perhaps the pictures are all not uniform in a person, place, or thing format, but they all have a pattern, circumstance, problem, catalyst that is present in each picture. Perhaps I'm stepping out on a limb here, but I'm going to theorize one of our deaths. I'll start with mine. There's a male. The girl in the picture aggravated him, perhaps for the final time. He looks to be a troubled male. He has an angered look on his face, a scar on his lip, and dresses like a delinquent. The time of my death is 12:28, assuming this is 12:28 p.m., This is during school hours. Now the girl looks quite uninterested, annoyed even. Perhaps he is a social outcast and has been fawning over this girl for quite some time. When she finds out, she's horrified and disgusted. He snaps. He brings a gun to school. After the initial gunshots, I'm hiding in the bathroom. When he enters, he shoots me in the chest and shoulders. It takes me close to 30 minutes to bleed to death. The male is responsible for the circumstance. The female is a catalyst that caused the male to act. The problem, or what's responsible for my death, is the gun. That's horrible. But yeah, sounds plausible. Maybe Dee bought bad drugs. What are you saying? She shoots him an angry look. Dee, Jay solaces, your habitat is full of alcohol. She stares at Jay in anger. Slowly, her gaze falls to the floor. I'm dating that boy in the picture. Maybe. He's my boyfriend, and he makes me so mad, or he cheats on me, or something. And I buy a fix. Heroin. And I overdose. She whispers in disgust. On the couch in my living room, doesn't sound out of character for me. Sorry. I didn't mean to offend you, M sighs. But yeah, that's what I thought. So we have an idea how I died. D, A, O, C, and V. Jay, re-explain yours. Wait, C speaks up. There's a problem with mine. I couldn't drive. I know I couldn't. I don't remember much, but I remember that. I think the man in the picture is my father. He has blonde hair and blue eyes, like me. And he looks so familiar. So very familiar. Not a stranger. I think maybe he was drunk driving with me in the car. Plausible, O nods. The lake was the circumstance, the alcohol was the catalyst, and the man was the problem. Holy crap. That's terrible. So he killed you both? I imagine, she whimpers. She looks deeply troubled. M can't resist and walks over to her, hugging her tightly. We'll figure this out, I promise. She smiles slightly. Thank you, M, she whispers. All right, Jay speaks up. My story. I'll be real with y'all. Ain't put the details together that well. Oh? You got a plan? You're pretty good with this stuff. I would like to see the pictures, he faces Jay. Jay nods. Jay takes O's hand and leads him into the white room. Moments later, they re-emerge. I think I have it, O faces them all. The man in the picture? Jay's father. The woman? His mother. I draw this conclusion because they both look like Jay. Both seem to be related to him and are far older than him, clearly. Now, I ventured that the man, the cruel-looking man, is a drunkard, and the woman, Jay's mother, is terrified of him. One time, while he's abusing her, Jay stands up to it, to be pummeled to death. So we know how we all die, and we know that we did all die, M summates. Now, one question remains. Why are we here? What makes us special? Our deaths don't seem to have anything necessarily in common. We're all different ages. We all died at different times. What's the link? Why us? The group looks around confusedly. Then O meets M's eyes. You're sure we died? Completely sure? But I, however, am not. What if we're not dead? After all, what kind of religion predicted this place? Osmocate Manor. That doesn't sound like anything written in any good book. I sometimes wonder if we're all asleep. Asleep? V asked. In a trance of some sort, O faces them all. Perhaps we're all remembering this. But it's all a suggested memory. I don't know, but nothing quite indicates that we're dead. Besides our immortality, anyway, albeit that lines up with my theory of all this being a dream of some kind as well. This is too much, C sighs, rubbing her head. I just want to get out of here, D mutters. Well, us sitting here BSing isn't going to get us anywhere most likely. Can we see the Hall of Voices? M asks. Count me out, D replies. I can't go up there again, C confesses. Same here, man, J admits. Too much for me. M? V looks at him disappointedly. I don't know what to say, man. That place, you don't want to be there. You don't. I'm willing to go there, O states. Not now, though. Tomorrow, when I've had a good night's rest. Is that sufficient, M? Okay, tomorrow it is. The group slowly disbands. Finally, M says goodnight to V. When he finds his mattress, he's much more tired than before. He passes out on the bed, finding sleep rather easily. Osmocate Manor, Act 2.2, by Runedine. Well, folks, that's our story tonight. Rotherick and I hope you enjoyed it. We sure had a great time bringing it to you, and we really appreciate you listening. Tune in next week when we bring you another chilling Tales from the Dark Chamber. And just a note, if you're an aspiring author and want your story read here on Tales from the Dark Chamber, send us a note at talesfromthedarkchamber@gmail.com. If it creeps old Rotherick out enough, we'll air it. And subscribe to our channel here for notification of our next new episode, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Remember, hit that like button and help us grow the channel. Also, make sure you tell your friends about us. Spread the word. If you want your story recorded for your own use, or just want to have it, check out my website at woodygvoiceover.net. You can order there. And again, thank you for listening tonight.